Miss Heather for videotaping these precinct council meetings, because last month I was homesick with a fever, and you know, there are a lot of people out there who work at nights or take care of their kids alone, and they're not able to be here as much as they want to be. And to have the video online gives everyone in the community an opportunity to be involved and to be connected to what's happening in the precinct council meetings. So thank you, and I just want to recognize Betty and the whole precinct council for doing such a good job getting the word out. The meetings are getting bigger every month, and it's really great. And I'll do one more and recognize Deputy Inspector Person. You know, across my district there are three different police precincts, and Deputy Inspector Person is the one person who you can email. He gets back to you in 5 minutes. He's on top of issues. He's really got the pulse of his community down, and he's done a great job. So thank you very much. There are a few issues I was hoping to speak to you about tonight briefly. One, just brief update on the concerts. I know there are a lot of folks out there who are less than pleased that these concerts are continuing to take place in our community, but I do think that the new location at 50 Kent is a major improvement. There are less residences in direct proximity to this concert location, so the folks who have been most negatively affected by the noise from these concerts are going to have a reprieve. Additionally, the concerts have been taking place at a state park. So half of the money that's been made has actually gone back to the state park, East River State Park. Now, it's going to be in city-owned property. So all of the money that is earned from these concerts is going to be reinvested into city-owned parks throughout the district. So we're going to have twice as many resources for the parks in our community as a result of this change in location. An event that I organized with Lambda Independent Democrats and a couple other folks in August was about the string of violence against members of the LGBT community in North Brooklyn. And we've had approximately half a dozen hate crimes against folks who are gay and lesbian and transgender and other in Williamsburg and Greenpoint. And it was critically important that we hold this event and get the word out about the number of incidents that are taking place. But we're doing some really good follow-up organizing also. We're trying to get decals up in store windows of late-night businesses so that if anybody's, many of these incidents are happening late at night, and if anybody is under attack, they know there are safe havens, on Block X or Block Y. I wanted to touch briefly on one issue and raise this for Deputy Inspector Person. We had another incident today where I believe there was a fatality in Greenpoint as a result of the traffic incident. The incident the Deputy Inspector mentioned on the Guinness from the past week. It seems that every week we're having a dangerous traffic problem. And I get calls and emails just about every day from people in the neighborhood who would like to see four-way stop signs, who would like to see stoplights at different intersections, and we send them into DOT, and unfortunately, in my experience, the majority of the times that we send in these requests, they get denied. So something that I've been following up with DOT and trying to get some additional information of what we can do as a community, because look, over the last decade, 13,000 additional people have moved into Greenpoint and Williamsburg, and we haven't seen changes in traffic flow that go along with that. So something that I'd like to suggest is that DOT has indicated that if they get information where there have been a series of traffic incidents at a given intersection, they'll take that into consideration and potentially change the traffic patterns there. So perhaps if we could do reviews together of different traffic patterns and where incidents are taking place and share that information with DOT to see if we can have them be more responsive, I think that would be very helpful. And just wanted to touch lastly on the issue of bars. I think that over the course of the last year, the Community Board considered a moratorium on new liquor licenses in Williamsburg and Greenpoint because things have gotten so out of control, and our neighborhood has become one big party, or in the eyes of some. So I think there are a few things that we need to do. One, in addition to calling 311, it's not time sensitive, and in certain instances calling 911, I strongly encourage you to also call the Community Board office. Community boards, our public safety committee, have the ability to give recommendations to the state liquor authority about whether to renew a liquor license at a given establishment or if the owner of that establishment is opening a new bar, whether to grant that owner a liquor license. And so it's really important, it's imperative, that if a given bar or a given club is causing problems, to let the community board know, because the Public Safety Committee will act accordingly and vote against approving that liquor license. And it's not that all they can give is a recommendation, but it makes a big difference. And so that's really important. I'd encourage you to do it. I will also reach out to the Public Safety Committee and make sure, because I'm not sure if they are, they may be, but I'll make sure that they're reviewing the numbers of bathrooms that are being planned for different bars and clubs, because I see people peeing on the street all the time. And I'm sure you all do too, and it's absolutely unacceptable, and they should be taking that into account for their planning process when they review the applications of new bars and restaurants. I also lastly encourage you to reach out directly to bar and club owners. And I hear you, man, when more than a couple of them may be nasty and they may not be responsive. I'd be happy to call myself or go in and pay a visit and see if we can encourage folks to be a little bit more sensible. When they're closing their bars or their clubs down late at night, they should be making announcements to be respectful of the neighbors as they leave. There should be signs outside of bars that they need to be respectful, that this is a residential neighborhood. There are all kinds of things that bar and club owners can do to be more considerate of our community. And they reside in our community, they rely on our business, and I'd hope that, and I think many of them would and should be responsive to thoughtful, constructive feedback. So those were my announcements. I tried to be brief because I know that it's been a long agenda already. Questions?
Not really a question, but to build upon what you said about contacting Community Board 1. What I would advise a few of the people in this room that have complained about eating and drinking establishments, you call 311, you make a complaint, you get the complaint number, you email it to Community Board 1. And that way it'll be brought to the attention of the Public Safety Committee. You start creating a paper trail.
Actually, no, but that's a great point. But I wanted to also ask, just like I asked the inspector, is there a way the community board can request from the city on a monthly basis whatever ticket numbers have been called in for certain quality violations? I mean, the data is there. Right. It just sounds like the community board needs to get on the recipient side of that.
Yeah, I mean, we can put in requests to do it. The Mayor's Office of Operations, which oversee the 311 system, and if we're having a critical, I think in this neighborhood we are having a critical issue with noise complaints late at night, and I think that there's no good reason why they shouldn't provide that information. It's not to say they will, but we can certainly request it.
I mean, it sounds like you have every category of quality of life issue by count. You can get that demographic on a frequent basis, and by that you can immediately see whether or not you are getting a lot of response from the community. If you're not, you can encourage more of it. If you are getting that, it's valuable information. It's how that's looked at by people, like you're saying. The community board has a voice in making decisions about license renewal. How great would it be to sit at a meeting and say, well, I don't know, we have seen a problem. We had 3,000 requests or complaints about your establishment.
Yeah.
The other question that I have for you is, can you just repeat what you said before? The state park, so Williamsburg, the river park there?
East River State Park.
East River State Park is going to be turned over to New York City, is that what you said?
No, sorry for if I wasn't clear. The concerts that we've all gotten to know so well over the last couple of years in East River State Park are going to be relocated to 50 Kent, which I think is North 11th and Kent. It's a big open, currently it's essentially parking, formerly controlled by sanitation. So the stage that's been in the park all summer will no longer be there. It's going to be at 50 Kent. The way that the agreement has worked between the Open Space Alliance and the New York State Department and the State Department of Parks has been that the State Department of Parks agrees to host these concerts in their park. It's not a city park, it's a state park, and they get half of the proceeds. Now that it's moving to city-owned land, the state won't be receiving half the proceeds. All of the proceeds will go to the city, to Parks and Community Board 1 and the Open Space Alliance.
So, okay, thank you for clarifying that. So my question is there anything that Community Board 1 can do to place itself at the top of that list in terms of the proportion of monies that would go to the city? McCarran Park, Gilbert Park are in such need.
All of the resources that are
Would we be first online?
all of the resources that are raised Space Alliance is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they've got an interesting relationship with the New York City Parks Department, but all of the resources that are raised are devoted exclusively to parks